So going on with the the pen description, we have we need some information, obviously, in this sheet. Let's try to visualize both in the same screen. Yeah. So the animal type. What's the animal type? Well, that's already described in this pen ID, but it's useful to repeat that, because there might be some particular situations. Anyway, so the animal type is going to be lactating cows, so L for pen 1, and dry cows for pen 2. Lactation stage, is there are the cows divided within pen based on their lactation stage or the days in milk? In this case, no, because, well, obviously, yeah, when they are dry they will have higher days in milk compared with lactating cows, but that's just for lactating cows pen, right? So in this case, all of the lactating cows are housed in the same pen. So here you will have all, which stands for all lactating stages housed together, and the parity as well. So there are no distinctions for parity. Does the calving occur in this pen? Well, no, not for sure in the lactating cow pen, but it's occurring in the dry cow's pen. So I'm going to mark no for the pen 1, but yes for pen 2. The housing system, well, that's just an example. There might be cases where the calving pen is in another building or whatever, so so the calving does not occur necessarily in the dry cow pen. It depends on the farm, obviously. So what's the housing system in here? So these are both compost bedded pack barns. Well, compost bedded pens within the same barn. So what's the floor type in the areas that are not bedded? So in here it's easy to see we have a scraper, so this is probably, well, that's not probably, that's my example, but anyway, that's a full concrete floor, so that's FC for both the pen, FC. What's the total area? Now we need to measure some stuff in this pen, again using the laser distance meter. So the first information we are interested in is the total available area for the animals. How can we measure that? Well, in this very simple example, we just need two measures. So we need to measure this length, so the total width of the pen, including the feeding lane. So this is going to be 25 by 3 meters. And how wide is that? Yeah, well, approximately, right? It's going to be 15 meters. But anyway, it's going to be 14 by 8. So, sorry, 14.8 by 25.3. So let's take this one, and 25.3 by 8. It's gonna be 374.4 square meter in this pen for the total available area, right? So 374.4. And what's the bedded area? No, sorry. Well, actually, this one is for the pen 2. Sorry. Yeah, because the pen 1 is for lactating cows on the right. So what's the bedded area? So what's the area of this pen excluding the feeding lane? I'm gonna measure this length, which is 19.7, and again I will take my calculator, and 19.7 times 14.8, we're gonna have 291.5 square meter of just the bedded area. Okay, for just the bedded area. So what's the depth? D bed is going to be the depth of the floor beneath the bedding. We cannot see that from the plan. Let's take a cross section. So what's the depth? this is the depth, so the total depth of the bedded area, right? So yeah, this is gonna be 0.8, so 80 centimeters. So I'm not gonna fill these two cells in here because it's gonna take too much time, right? So but you need to fill that and fill them anyway. Yeah, let's try to fill that. Yeah, well, these are missing but needs to be filled. So 0.8, we have said the depth of the bed is 0.8, so we're gonna fill that with 0.8, 0.8. What's the width of the bedded area? Well, we measured that before, and so the width of the bedded area is 19.7. That is gonna be for both the pens. Okay, so 19.7, 19.7, right? What's the width of the feeding alley? Let's take this measure, or otherwise we can calculate 25.3 minus 19.7, but it's always better to take a measure, because, and that is going to be 5 also, because there is this area that is not bedded in this, and it's not included in the width of the feeding lane. So the width of the feeding lane is 5 meters for both the two pens, right? So 5 meters and 5 meters. What's the number of stalls? Well, obviously there are no stalls in here, so that's not relevant for this kind of housing system. The type of stall is not relevant. Sorry. What's the total length of the feeding alley? Well, that's another important information, so let's take a measure for that. So pen 2, what's the width, sorry, the total length? Let's take this measure here, and that's gonna be 15 meters, right? It's gonna be the same as this measure, about the same. So we're gonna mark down the 15 meters. That's for the pen 2. Well, let's take another measure for pen 1 just to see. So the length is gonna be 60 meters. So 60 meters for the lactating cows and 15 meters for the dry cows. So let's mark down this 60 meters. So feed vent. So this part, these last 5 rows regard the ventilation systems installed within each pen, not each building but each pen. So in this case there are no fans at all, not at all. So we're going to write down there are no ventilation systems, so no. Okay, but in cases ventilation systems are in place, which in my opinion is going to be in most situations, I have reported here some explanatory pictures in the sheet 3 of this Excel file. So as you can see here, figure 4, and this regards the type of fans that are installed. There might be other kinds of fans, but these two are the two that are most spread, in my opinion, at least in my experience. So these are the circulation fan. These are also sometimes called as conventional fans, and so this one on the left and this one on the right, this is HVLS fan, which stands for high volume low speed. So usually these are also known as helicopters, at least in my country, but yeah, you get an idea of that. Okay, so you count the type, so you just mark down the type of the fans, and then you mark down the number of the fans that are installed in the feeding area and in the bedded area. This row here regards the cooling system, so if there is a cooling system based on the use of water in the feeding alley, you can just say yes in here. Okay,